Alright, everyone, this is Zach from the Undrafted Experts, and I'm back with, well, the last mock draft you're going to see on this channel for, I don't know, at least 6 months, maybe a little earlier than that. I'm here with my way too early 2023 mock draft. I don't expect any of these picks to be right. I really don't. But we're going to take a swing at it. We're going to see what we can do. See if we're, anywhere near what the actual 2023 NFL draft ends up looking like. And with the Falcons being set at number 1, I think it's pretty obvious. They're going quarterback. Take your pick, Stroud or Young. I'm taking Stroud because he's the number 1 on this board. So, that's a pretty easy one. Texans here. Got him going Will Anderson Jr. He's a monster. He's very much a contender for being the number 1 overall pick if there wasn't as many teams in need of QB right now. Then number 3 for the Lions, it's Bryce Young. They need a top tier QB unless Jared Goff has an unbelievable year this upcoming season. They're going to have to move on. Plus, he's expensive as hell. So, you need to move on. Now, the Seahawks are up at 4. I have them going Jalen Carter. I've heard he's one of the best D linemen in the nation and was potentially the best D lineman on the Georgia team last year, but wasn't starting because of how deep the team is. So it could be an immediate impact guy for the Seahawks on the interior of the D-line. And the Jets are going to do something very similar. They're going to go Brian Bresee. I think that's how you say his name. Interior D-lineman out of Clemson. They need to shore up the position at the end of the day. And it's a Robert Saleh-led team who loves their front seven. It's a good fit, in my opinion. And Jacksonville up at 6. I have them going Jackson Smith and Jigba. One of my favorite receivers last year. One of my favorite receivers for this upcoming season. He's just nasty. And I get that the Jaguars went out and signed Christian Kirk to a massive deal. But I don't think the wide receiver position is done yet. I see Christian Kirk as a high-end wide receiver 2, low-end wide receiver 1. I think Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to be a top-tier wide receiver 1. At least that's how I see him. And the Panthers are going to do something very similar. They're going to go Kayshon Boutte in this. They could use a great playmaker alongside DJ Moore for, I don't know, Sam Darnold, maybe Matt Corral, if they decide to bring him in as a starter midway through the year, which I kind of hope they do, or another QB in a year or two, or even they take one in the first round this year. It's possible. There's just a lot of unproven guys here at the end of the first right now. All 4 of these guys I could see being top 10 picks. I could see Anthony Richardson getting up there. I think Hendon Hooker has a good shot at jumping up the board. And I've also heard good things about Jaren Hall being very similar to Zach Wilson. So, good chance that, a lot of these QBs could jump up. I mean, just look at how many are expected to go 2nd and 3rd right now. This is a strong QB class, unlike last year. And a lot of teams are going to be buying. Now the Bears are up at 8. I have them going Paris Johnson Jr. They need O-line help. It's simple as that. And Johnson's one of the best in the class, if not the best. Get some protection for Justin Fields, please. Then at number 9 for the Giants, I have them going Kelee Ringo. They just cut James Bradbury for cap reasons. So, go out and get another CB1. Just fix the position for God's sake. See, other than Bradbury, it seems like the secondary is always a mess. Now, Giants fans, you can correct me. It may be better than what I'm thinking it is, but I don't watch a lot of Giants games, so as far as I'm aware, it's a mess. Now, with the Commanders up at 10, this is going to be an interesting one. I'm going Michael Mayer. I'm going to have them take, or Michael Mayer, sorry. I'll have them taking a tight end at 10. You may not like it, but it's one of their top needs. I am basing this pretty much solely off of Mock Draft Database's team needs board, because it's going to take me a while to truly get invested in every team's needs and everything like that. And then the Steelers at 11, I have them going Eli Ricks, corner out of Bama. I want the Steelers to have a top corner. One guy I do like as well, especially if we perform better than the 11th pick, Joey Porter Jr. Obviously, we had Joey Porter on our team in the mid-2000s, and this is his son. I'd love to see it happen. But just based off the board, I'm going to have them go Eli Ricks here. Then the Vikings come up here at 12. I'm going to have them take Myles Murphy, edge rusher out of Clemson. Heard really good things about him. As an ACC football fan, I know he's pretty good. And according to Mock Draft Database, it's one of their top needs, is edge rusher. It is listed as their third biggest need. So Eagles are up at 13, and I'm having them go with Nolan Smith, edge rusher out of Georgia. Also a top need for Philly. I mean, second biggest need. Next up is corner, but Eli Ricks is off the board, and I don't see them reaching for Joey Porter when Nolan Smith's on the board. And then next up, for the Raiders, I have them taking Noah Sewell, Penei Sewell's younger brother. Heard really good things about him. I mean, if Penei Sewell is anything to go by, Noah Sewell will be pretty good. Then Miami up at 15. They're a team that I've considered going running back in the first round, especially with Bijan Robinson on the board. I can see him doing it, but even in a way too early mock, I'm not doing it. At least not this early. Not at 15, I don't think. But I'll have them go BJ Ojulari edge rusher out of LSU. It's one of their top needs. And it's better than going running back at 15 in what's seemingly a pretty solid running back class. At least as of right now, you've got three big hitters here. And Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Zach Evans. And obviously Tank Bigsby's down here. He'll probably come up the board a bit. At least I would think. And then at 16, I had the Patriots going Jordan Addison. I will say, for the Vikings, for some reason their top need is wide receiver, and I can kind of get it. But I don't see them going wide receiver at 12, if they were to get the 12th pick. I don't see it being their top need. Even if Thielen regresses. They still have Justin Jefferson. They can pick up a later round guy to be the wide receiver 2. Now at 17, I have the Titans going a little bit down the board, but not as much as I remembered it being. For Isaiah Foskey, edge rusher out of Notre Dame. I think Bud Dupree is better in a complementary role, and that's what Tennessee is starting to realize. It's what Steelers fans realized. But I think he could be the guy that him and Dupree could be a really good duo if that's the route they choose to go. And I just said I wasn't going to go running back that early for the Dolphins. But look, Houston's needs, it says either, well, actually, hold on one moment. Alright, I did look into it. I was trying to remember if they took a running back in this draft last year, and they did, but 4th round guy. So, it's a way too early mock. I get it. This is not a mock that's meant to be taken, as this unbelievable, generational thing here. Just throwing it around. We're going to go running back. Why not? Bijan Robinson to the Texans at 18. May as well. Get a true number 1 back in Houston. And, I mean, just based off the fact he's ranked at number 12 tells me he's supposed to be pretty good. And I've heard good things about him, so why not? Philly at 19, I'm going to have them go Joey Porter Jr. Like I said, would love to see him in Pittsburgh, but just depends on how the board falls. I think he's going to be a pretty good corner in the NFL. And the Ravens at 20, I have them going Trenton Simpson, linebacker out of Clemson. One of their top needs, at least for the first round, I'd say. I mean, you could obviously say wide receiver, but you look at the wide receivers, I mean, you could reach for Marvin Mims, you could reach for Josh Downs, so I think Josh Downs is pretty good. But I think you go Trenton Simpson. He's best player available for what your needs are at the moment. And then Cardinals at 21. I'm going to take the Northwestern offensive tackle. I'll learn his last name later on in the year. Not right now. One of their top needs is O-line, specifically O-tackle. You could make the claim that they need another corner, but looks like you're going to be able, if you were to be at 21, you'll probably be somewhere in the range for maybe Tony Grimes, Clark Phillips III, or if you want to wait till the third round, you could possibly get Garrett Williams or somebody in this range. You know, you don't necessarily have to go first round corner if you're the Cardinals. And then at 22, the Seahawks would be going quarterback. Which quarterback? I don't know. Honest to God, if they were to end up at 4, they'd probably take a quarterback. But just based off what we have right now on the board, I'm just going to say they wouldn't do it at 4 unless Stroud or Young were available. So I'm just going to take the top one here. Will Levis. I've heard he's got elite arm talent, but has a bit of an issue with inconsistency. But once again, I think all of these QBs here in this little stretch here, they're either gonna fly off the board or fly down the board. I mean, we're gonna figure out a lot this season because the focus is gonna be heavily on QBs for the scouting process because that's what everyone wants right now. There's a lot of teams that need QB. Now, Chargers up at 23. I have them going with Marvin Mims. Really the only need that, you can take at 23 with the way this board has fallen. Because there's a lot of QBs. There's a lot of safeties. They don't particularly need safety. You could say maybe Zion Nelson. But I like the idea of getting Marvin Mims. What I will say is I do think if all these QBs are sitting here in the early 20s, a team like the Chargers could easily trade back with a team that needs a QB and get a ton of assets for the future. It would be a very smart move. And now the Dolphins. Another way too early mock draft thing about to happen. I'm giving him a running back. Jahmyr Gibbs. Welcome to the Dolphins in this. I know they signed Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert, but why not? It's a way too early mock. We can have some fun here. This is not meant to be accurate. Oh god, clicking things. Colts at 25. I have them going Tyler not saying that, QB out of Miami. Only reason I'm not saying it is because that will get set off on YouTube's auto detection, and I'm not dealing with all the issues with that. Matt Ryan, I think he's got a couple seasons in him, truthfully. I think he has at least, he probably has 2 more with a proper team around him. But QB is one of the top needs, and this is a very strong QB class as of right now. So Colts may as well take a swing on one. Cowboys up at 26. I had them going Malachi Moore, safety out of Bama. I mean, it's pretty much the only position sitting on the board right now that I could see him taking. It just makes now you could choose Malachi Moore, Brandon Joseph, or Jordan Battle. Take whatever one you want. That's not for me to decide right now. I'm just getting the position basically. And Bengals at 27, I have them going Derek Hall, edge rusher out of Auburn. They could go Brandon Joseph, but of course, if Jesse Bates doesn't return, which is why they drafted Dax Hill, was to potentially be the starting safety and also be kind of a rotational corner as of right now, I think he would slide back to safety if that's the path that they end up taking and not bring back Jesse Bates. Lions back up at 28. This is where I have Brandon Joseph going. They need help in the secondary, or really pretty much the entire defense except for edge rusher at the moment. And Brandon Joseph could be the best safety in the class. Not entirely sure yet. Then Green Bay up at 29. I have them going Jordan Battle. Bit of a run on safeties here, but this was listed as one of their top needs outside of wide receiver, but we know Green Bay does not take wide receivers in the first round. Just doesn't happen. So, went ahead and took Jordan Battle. Last year, he was supposed to be a first at the start of the year, if I'm not mistaken, or if not a first, like a early second, and then ended up coming back for another year of college. Kansas City up at 30. I have them going Zion Nelson, offensive tackle out of Miami. It's one of their top needs as well. You could have possibly, I believe it was, wide receiver. You could have gone edge rusher, but the thing is with wide receiver is that Josh Downs, Quentin Johnston are the main two at this point on the board. And the edge rushers have pretty much been burned out for right now. So, may as well go Zion Nelson. Then at 31, I have the Bucks going with Spencer Rattler. Just because we know Tom Brady's going to retire again at some point. At least we think. I mean, that's what we thought when he retired this offseason. And then he came back not too long after. But you do have to prepare for the future. I mean, you could say Kyle Trask's your guy, but at this point, do you really think he can be the starter? I don't think he was expected to be a starter when he was drafted. Like, at all. He was expected to be mainly just a career backup. So maybe you believe in him? I mean, that's Tampa's call, but I would take a QB in this draft class if you need one, or possibly need one. Just get it done. And then for the final pick of the first round, Bills are at 32. I have them going Jalen Catalon, safety out of Arkansas. I mean, it is one of their top needs. I would say more specifically just secondary in general, because the safeties, both of them, Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, are getting older. And there's really not much help for Tre'Davious White as of right now. So just secondary in general would be a great pick for the Bills. And with that, that concludes the way too early 2023 mock draft. I mean, we'll see here in about 11 months at this point if I'm anywhere near right, or if I at least got positions right, because I'll take that at this point. But for a way too early mock, I think this looks pretty solid. Just personal call here. But thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. And there should be a podcast coming out soon regarding the schedule release. It'll be here in the next couple days, I think. But other than that, I mean, we're still figuring out content to do. USFL content's decent, but not great right now. So, If anything, there may be a bit of a hiatus on the channel while we figure things out, or some more shorts. Don't know. But thank you all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe as always. And I hope you all have a good day.